What's up guys, T-Main here, and today I'm bringing you a special behind the scenes look at my very own rap battle, Jason Voorhees versus the Zodiac Killer. I want to start off by apologizing for the lower audio quality today. My blue mic decided it just didn't feel like working anymore. So I have another one that should be here within a few days, and we'll be back to good. Alright, so there are going to be a bunch of different parts in this video. I'm going to start by going over the character portrayal for each character, and then I'm going to move along to a very short segment that's just about how I made the beat, about audio mixing and the editing process. Thirdly, I'm going to do a chisel this of my very own for the lyrics in this. If you don't know what chisel this is, check out Matt Voorhees' channel, it's absolutely awesome. And last but not least, I'm going to give a ton of shoutouts to everyone who inspired certain parts of this video and just inspired me in general to create content. So if you think you're one of those people, you can skip to the end, or you can skip to any of the sections by clicking the respective text. Alright, so first off, we're going to go over the character portrayal for Jason Voorhees. Alright, take the mask off. Reveal yourself to the people, Josh. How hot are you right now? Oh God! Now, his costume was very basic. Now, I didn't exactly have a huge budget for this video, but I did have a budget. My budget was about $25. So what I did is I actually went to a thrift shop and I bought the t-shirt and jacket that Jason Voorhees is wearing. I did that so I could cut it up and get it really dirty and try to, make it authentic for the video. Now, for the rest of his costume, I owned everything. I owned the jeans and the boots, the gloves, and the mask. Now, one thing for him we didn't want to do is we didn't want to show a lot of skin. Because when we first dressed my friend Josh up like him, you could see the skin on his hands and you could see his eyes, you could see his neck too. So we really thought to make it authentic we needed to kind of hide his skin. So we gave him black leather gloves and we took some of the cloth from the Zodiac Killer costume and put it over his eyes. As for his neck and hair, we tried a ton of different things to cover it up. We tried a black ski cap, we tried like a gray plastic bag cut in a way to slip over his head, and in the end, everything we added just made it seem worse. So we decided that it was best for him just to have a little bit of skin showing. Now, something I thought might be a little controversial about Jason Voorhees' portrayal was his voice. We must have been experimenting with different voices for Jason Voorhees for hours before we picked the one that we did. One reason I picked it is because it wasn't overly menacing and deep and inaudible. Now, I absolutely love epic rap battle parodies. They are one of my favorite channels, but something that I am going to criticize them for is in many of their creepypasta rap battles, some of the characters have really deep, really affected audio voices, and I just never thought that sounded good. So that's why we went with maybe a little bit more of a normal voice for Jason Voorhees. Speaking of epic rap battle parodies, they are one of the people that will be getting shout out later, so don't think I'm criticizing you or anything. I mean, I did a little bit, but it's a little criticism is healthy. Alright, so that pretty much covers Jason Voorhees' portrayal. So now I'm going to move on to the Zodiac Killer. Now, if you didn't know, I did play the Zodiac Killer myself. Nice hair. And his costume was difficult to make, but cheap to make. All we bought for his costume was $8 worth of black fabric from Walmart. We made his head out of cardboard, made the vest out of the cloth. We painted on his little symbol. We also spent, I forgot, $5 on a pair of black sunglasses to go on his face. Everything else was owned. His gun was my little airsoft gun, so I was nothing special. As for the voice of the Zodiac Killer, I was inspired by the Infinite Source in his portrayal of Sub-Zero. You can check that video out here, and also be sure to look at his channel. He makes tons of awesome rap battles. So I kind of took that deep and airy Sub-Zero voice, and I kind of made it a little higher pitch because my voice is higher pitched, but also because I didn't think the Zodiac Killer was going to be very menacing. I actually originally thought about doing more of a Joker voice for the Zodiac Killer, but that was eventually scrapped when I thought of this one, and ended up being pretty good, I think. Now, another thing I want to talk about for each character was their background design. If you didn't notice, Jason Voorhees had an iMovie effect of day into night over him and his background. The reason we did that is because when we originally did it, he didn't blend in very well with his background and he was very bright. So by adding this effect, I really think it helped him and his background bond together, and it also made him look a little less like he had been recorded on a green screen. As for the Zodiac Killer, the decision to go black and white was, I don't want to say difficult, but I didn't know what to do originally because his portrayal comes from a picture I found on the internet of an artist's sketch in black and white. So not knowing what any of his colors would be, I thought it was safe to go black and white. Another reason I made him entirely black and white is because that's sort of how I pictured him. I pictured him, an entirely black and white wardrobe, maybe despite his shoes, but... So I thought that maybe making him all black and white would also kind of place him back in his time period, as opposed to Jason, who's a lot more modern and in color. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to the process of editing, beat making, and audio mixing. So I produced the beat in GarageBand. And when making it, I didn't want it to be overly joyful. I kind of wanted it to be basic and kind of mysterious sound to it. So that's why I picked, you kind of have like a humming bass in the background, a high-pitched humming bass. And you have the main synth, which is very basic. And as for the beat, I didn't want it to be a super fast rap battle, but I also didn't want it to be really slow. So I think the beat of this battle was 100 BPM. Now as for the audio mixing process, what I do for this and almost any rap songs I record is I record the main track on 2 separate tracks, so if one line gets really close to the end and you can't quite get a good start on the other, you can just start a separate recording on that. And also each recording I copy and paste into 2 tracks. One track that's no effects and one track that's auto-tuned with ambience and reverb. And I balance those out evenly so that it makes sort of a like a professional sound, I suppose. Now as for Jason Voorhees, there was also a 3rd track which was really, really deep and booming, but it was played very softly just to give his voice that sort of bass it needed. As for the Zodiac Killer, I rapped twice for every word he said. Whereas for Jason Voorhees, we only voiced over where we wanted accents on the words. But for the Zodiac Killer, I wanted to rap one normally, and then I wanted to rap one in a more airy voice. This is the Zodiac speaking, as opposed to this is the Zodiac speaking. So I wanted to do one that was very articulate and like that, and that one was played very soft to make sure that it held its structure, so when I put the more airy one over it together that they would sound, good. Oh my god, it must be 9 degrees in my basement right now. These bright lights are not helping me. I accept the fact that I'm not a professional editor, but I think I could have edited this battle a little bit better had I had different software. For those of you who don't know, I edited this battle with iMovie, and something that makes iMovie really annoying is you can only have one layer at a time. Basically what that means is that every time I put a layer of green screen over the video, I could only have one of him in each shot. I couldn't have multiple layers of the green screen in each shot. So every time I wanted to make one where there were lots of the same person in the same shot, I would have to export it with one person on it, bring it, import it back, put another layer on it, export it out again. And another thing that makes iMovie really annoying is you can't position the person on the green screen. Like you can't say, alright, I want to shrink you and stick you in the background. What you have to do is you have to create a picture-in-picture of a green screen on green screen of where you want it, and then you have to export that, and then re-import it, and then layer it on top of the background, and then do that a bunch of times until you have the shot you want. I must have put a good 30 hours at least into editing this because of all the long time it would take to do that for each shot. Sometimes for a 4-second shot, I would have to edit for an hour. Alright guys, so now I'm going to explain the meaning behind the lyrics in my rap battle. So the Zodiac Killer starts off by saying,
"This is the Zodiac speaking. Prepare to feel my raps attack. You look like E.T.'s abortion. That's why you wear that hockey mask."
For those of you who don't know, the Zodiac Killer wrote a ton of letters to the police, and he started each letter with, "This is the Zodiac speaking." So it seemed like a natural correlation to have that be the start of my rap battle. If you've ever seen Jason Voorhees without his mask, he looks like shriveled up, big-headed, like E.T. So it was sort of an insult to say you look like E.T.'s abortion, that's why you wear that hockey mask. Plus, I knew at some point in this rap battle I was going to have to address his hockey mask, and so I thought this was a good way to start it.
I'll take a 45 and stick the barrel between your eyes. I'll pull the trigger and I'll know. Let's see you crack my lyrical code.
This verse is strictly about the weapon of choice for the Zodiac Killer. For those of you who don't know, he used a 45 caliber pistol to kill most of his victims. And then he references a lyrical code, which he was known for writing tons of bizarre codes to the police to try to solve his crimes, I guess.
I got one word to describe you, but hey, spread the word to end the word.
This is another reference a lot of you might not get, but I know from my school that there's the Spread the Word to End the Word campaign, which by the way I support 100%. Anyway, the campaign is to end the word retarded, because it's supposed to be a demeaning word to mentally challenged people. So by saying I got one word to describe you, but hey, spread the word to end the word, he's saying I will call you retarded, but I'm not going to because hey, spread the word to end the word. I'm just realizing that I messed up the lyrics in the battle. Alright, so the lyrics used in the battle were,
how many remakes does your movie need after that awful 3D in the third?
And what that's referencing was the infamously awful 3D in Jason's third movie, and also the fact that his movie keeps getting rebooted and rebooted and rebooted again and again. And they just keep getting worse each time, let's be honest. But apparently I changed the lyrics before recording, but when recording I thought I had memorized the lyrics, so yeah, I messed up. The new lyrics I have typed on here are, you're ripping off Carrie and Myers, meanwhile my reputation's undeterred. What do you know? The Zodiac Killer then follows up with the stanza,
I'm not joshing around, your only fame comes to the big screen. America's legendary mysterious murder, I really went down in history.
Now, I'm not joshing around. That might sound weird, and it's actually not a reference to my friend's name at all, but the original name for Jason was supposed to be Josh, but then the director changed it because he thought that wasn't menacing enough. Anyway, joshing around is the same thing as joking around. If you don't believe me, you can look up the definition of the word. And then he references, you know, you're only famous because you're in a movie. I actually killed people. Like, I'm actually gonna go down in history and be remembered. And in 50 years, no one's gonna think of your movie anymore. He continues this idea in the next line.
You know my name, you're leeching off a phrase fame. I heard about what we did to you, but Jason, that's a shame.
They'll never know my name. It's just another reference to the fact that no one's ever gonna know who he is. He's still a mystery. Even though people have claimed to have figured out who he is, it isn't proven yet. Then you're leeching off a phrase fame. Freddy, if you didn't know, has appeared in 3 different Jason movies. I think they're all like really brief cameos. And then obviously there's the famous Jason versus Freddy. That movie's probably one of my favorite slashes of all time, honestly. Anyway, the next 2 lines are a reference to a script for a TV show that was actually never produced. I think it was supposed to be a Nightmare on Elm Street TV show, and there was going to be a flashback scene in which a live Freddy and a live Jason had a real life meeting. Apparently Freddy was like a camp counselor at Lake Crystal and had molested Jason when Jason was just a boy. So, yep, that's what's referenced here. The next line might be the stupidest joke in the whole battle, but I don't care because I love it.
But Jason, that's a shame.
Vajason, that's a reference to Vajayjay, which is a reference to a woman's womanhood. And we all know a word that and calling a guy that's an insult. It means, I don't know what it means, but I know it's an insult. Anyway, so that was sort of a play on the name Jason by adding Va in front of it, but Jason.
I'll be busy burning cause your moves like the sky on a cloudy night, so try and take me with your knife. I'll pull the trigger, end your life.
So what do you not see on a cloudy night? The moon? Well, yes, but also stars. This is a diss to Jason's movie saying you've never had any big movie stars in any of your films, and that's why they also. Alright, this next part, it sort of attacks his usage of a knife. So try and take me with your knife, I'll pull the trigger on your life. Meaning, like, if you come at me with your knife and try to kill me, I'm just gonna shoot you and boom, I win. It's over, so don't even try. Jason starts off his verse with,
leave this battle now before I give you another scar. If they made a movie about you, it fell short of 2 stars.
Now, another scar means the Zodiac Killer would have had to have a scar in the first place, and he does. I can't say it's a famous fact, but among those who study the Zodiac Killer, it's a known fact that he has a long scar on one of his fingers from the fingerprints they found of him. So this is Jason saying, no, leave this battle, or I'm gonna give you another scar, bro. I'll cut your hand off or something. I don't know. If they made a movie about you, it'd fall short of 2 stars. That's actually dissing like the little information that's known about him. He's saying they don't even know anything about you. If they tried to make a movie about you, it would be 2 stars because there's nothing to say about you. And there's actually another reason I included that line, which comes up later.
You have a mere 5 kills to your name. See me melee my victims, rack up points in our multiplayer game.
You have a mere 5 kills to your name, you know, he's making fun of you. You've killed 5 people. I think Jason's total is like 113-ish. So somewhere like give or take like 20 on that. I know it's triple digit kills though. The reference to the melee my victims, rack up points in our multiplayer game. Now, in every single first-person shooter game I've ever played, a melee's worth more than just gunning someone down. So he's saying, you know, you just shoot people, I'm meleeing people, and then rack up points in a multiplayer game saying, you know, if we're having a contest in our kills, I'm racking up way more points than you because, you know, I'm meleeing people and you're just standing away and gunning them down. Alright, this entire next stanza is just a complete reference to Jason's appearance in Mortal Kombat.
Hear the announcer yelling?
Flawless victory.
Reach into your chest, pull your heart out. Fatality.
And for those of you who didn't notice, the background in that part of the video is the old-fashioned Mortal Kombat background for some stage, I don't remember which. This whole next stanza is kind of sets up the last few lines.
A threat to me, you'll be slayed, then filleted. Can't tell who you want to be more, the Ripper or KKK.
I can't tell you want to be more, the Ripper or the KKK, you know. You're copying everything they do. You're killing people and then mailing stuff to them and kind of being mysterious about it, and you know. He's also like the KKK because he uses a symbol that I don't know if it's the same or it's very similar to the one they used, and he also covers himself completely in a very like sheep sort of way.
Oh sure, your gun has its use, but my mom's a more terrifying badass than you.
I think every guy who's ever played sports at one point or another has heard something along the lines of, my mom can throw better than you, or my mom could have scored that goal, how'd you miss? Anyway, the idea is, you know, saying something, my mom's better than you at something, that's typically considered an insult. When saying this, he's saying, you know, my mom's a more terrifying badass than you. And there's actually another reference to this, which is the fact that Jason's mom was the original murderer in the first film. So he's saying, look, my mom in that first film was scarier than you in everything you ever did. Like, you weren't feared.
After your time is through, then step to me or I'll behead you. You just look like a black sheep ghost, but I'm scarier than you when I say boo.
Alright, so, you know, this next verse, the first part is kind of like, you know, just don't step to me, bro, because if you step closer to me, I'm just gonna swing out and cut your head off. He also says, you just look like a black sheep ghost, I'm scarier than you when I say boo. You know, he's making fun of his costume. I already had Zodiac make fun of Jason's costume with the hockey mask part. And now, you know, he's saying, you just look like, you know, like a bad Halloween costume. Someone threw a black sheet over you. And I'm scarier than you when I say boo, because, you know, ghosts say boo. Alright, now for some explaining. Something I feel doesn't happen enough in rap battles is that one side says something and the other side retaliates. Because I feel like that's what a rap battle is. You try to insult someone, and you can't just be on the attack, you have to play defense sometimes too. So there were some lines in here that I wanted to have to set up opposing sides for a retaliation, and that's what this verse for Zodiac starts with.
What do you mean, if they made a movie? Haven't you seen Zodiac? It got 4 stars, check your facts.
So Zodiac starts off by saying, hey, you know, you said that they couldn't make a good movie about me, but look about this. 4 stars. That's double the rating you thought I could get.
Spitting a cipher on this track, you can't decipher and cannot write. The White Knight, Justin, Midnight Black, I'll burn you down and leave you sacked.
For those of you who don't know, cipher has a double meaning here. A cipher is like a rap verse, but a cipher is also like a code or something like that. So obviously the Zodiac Killer is famous for his codes, and he's kind of bringing that in with a double meaning onto the track. Spitting a cipher on this track, you can't decipher and cannot crack. This is another retaliation. He almost accepts his role as wanting to be the KKK. He says, yeah, that's fine, I admit it. The White Knight, dressed in midnight black, will burn you down and leave you sacked. I'll burn you down and leave you sacked. So after he accepts his KKK role, he compliments his own costume after Jason had made fun of it. He says, midnight black, you know, sleek, kind of cool. And then, I'll burn you down and leave you sacked. If you've ever heard about a village being pillaged, they'll also say, you know, that village was burned and sacked. And though that doesn't really make sense, it does when you learn that in one of the Jason movies, he originally had worn a sack on his head instead of a hockey mask.
Confess to the cops, those 5 kills weren't alone. I'm the king of mystery, I've got a history where nothing's set in stone.
Again, he retaliates. I confess to the cops those 5 kills weren't alone. The Zodiac Killer claimed to have killed more people. He claimed to more unsolved murders. I'm the king of mystery, I've got a history where nothing's set in stone. Every time it seems we learn something for sure about the Zodiac Killer, new evidence surfaces that either disproves it or maybe it seems like there might be more to it. So he's saying, I've got a history and it's a mystery and nothing's set in stone, meaning, things are always changing. A lot of these lines are self-explanatory.
This will end your saga, prepare to take your final breath. This has gone on long enough, you have a date with death.
Alright, so this line was definitely a setup for the cinematic scene where Zodiac kills Jason, but the date with death line is a reference to an old Jason movie poster that says you have a date with death, and it's got the little picture of the cow there. Alright, and then Jason goes down.
Nice try, Zodiac, but let's try to be sensible. It's been tried 7 times, you can't kill me, I'm invincible.
In 6 of the Jason movies, the movie ended with Jason dying in some way or another. But obviously he always comes back and goes on to kill more people. So he adds Zodiac's failed attempt as the 7th, and voila, this line is born. More retaliation. Another thing about this verse is it's more of the retaliation. The Zodiac keeps mentioning how I'll pull the trigger in your life, then he actually tries to kill him. This verse covers the fact that you can't kill me. You keep trying to kill me, but you can't. So that's kind of how he retaliates there. Alright, so this next verse has a lot of, I guess not historical meaning, but a little bit of it.
I'm a stone cold killer, cold to the core like Pluto. I'm the Leo in this battle and your death will be brutal.
I'm a stone cold killer, cold to the core like Pluto. Pluto is obviously a planet that's very far away and is like solid ice and rock. So by saying he's cold like Pluto, he's obviously really, really, really cold. However, Pluto's also, I think, the god of the underworld in Roman mythology. So he's referring to himself as the god of the underworld because, he's killed so many people. I'm the Leo in this battle and your death will be brutal. For those of you who missed it, Leo's a reference to the Zodiac signs. Zodiac Killer, Zodiac signs had to be mentioned in there somewhere. So by saying he's the Leo in this battle, he's describing himself as being the Leo sign. The Leo sign is described as being all about power and exuberance, natural born leaders. They're high-minded, vocal about their opinions, they're savvy, and they become leaders that believe in initiative, headstrong and willful, and dynamic. So in the long run, he's saying, I'm more powerful than you. I'm the Leo of this battle. I'm more powerful. I'm the leader. I have more power, more exuberance, all that stuff I just said.
I've got murders in 3 figures while you're playing Scooby-Doo, writing silly symbol clues. Your own son told the truth about you.
I've got murders in 3 figures. Okay, I don't need to rap another verse. I'm sorry. All right, so he says, I'm not messing around. I've got murders in 3 figures. I've killed a triple-digit amount of people, and you're just playing Scooby-Doo. You're just killing people, and then you spend months writing a little clue to the police, and I could have said Blue's Clues too. Anyway, so that covers the Scooby-Doo and symbol clue line. And the last line is your own son told the truth about you. So there was a book written by someone who claims to be the Zodiac Killer's son. The book is called The Most Dangerous Animal of Them All. And it says Searching for My Father and Finding the Zodiac Killer. It's a book by Gary L. Stewart with help from Susan Mustafa. Sounds like Mufasa. That's evil. I should have had her in this rap battle. Alright, now we've moved on to the final verse.
11 movies and TV, and my fame is yet to cease. The greatest saga will live on, and so I claim my victory.
I should have looked at this at the beginning, because I don't know how many times I've got the number of his movies wrong. But Jason has 11 movies and then a brief TV series, and he's saying my fame is yet to cease. The greatest saga will live on. For those of you who didn't know, there's supposedly another Friday the 13th movie in the making currently, which I will be super excited to see if it comes out. And so I claim my victory. In traditional rap battles by ERB, who won? Who's next? You decide. Who won? That's what he's referencing. He's saying, I'm way more famous than you. I feel like people are gonna look at this rap battle and say, oh, I know who Jason Voorhees is, and they might have heard of the Zodiac Killer, but they're not gonna know a lot about him. So he's saying, you have no chance of beating me. My 11 movies, my fame is yet to cease, greatest saga will live on. all that. I'm way more popular than you. If we take a vote in this battle, I'm gonna win. Alright guys, well we finally made it through the lyrics. So I think that's all I said I would cover in this video. Besides the shoutouts, which I'm about to get to. Alright, I really hope I don't miss anyone. I mean, I really tried not to. I really thought of this list hard. And I'm gonna explain, kind of how each person inspired me. What part. Make sense? Well, obviously, I have to give credit to ERB for coming up with this sort of video style portrayal of rap battles between two characters who never could have actually rap battled each other. Next, I want to give a huge shout out to video game rap battles. When I first made my channel, if you didn't know, I originally thought I was going to try to be a gaming channel. But soon I realized that wasn't making me happy and I didn't know where I would turn. And seeing how far video game rap battles has come, I mean, I subscribed to them way back. I mean, we're talking like when they had like 2,000 subs. And just to see how far they've come since then really inspired me to try the rap music thing for myself. And obviously I'm far from the level that they are now. But I think if you go back and watch some of their earliest videos, I mean, I think this rap battle is at least up to par with maybe their first 1 or 2 battles. So video game rap battles in the end inspired me to try the whole rap battle, rap music, just that whole thing in general. They inspired me to make that for my channel. The next shout out goes to Kevin Crust. Kevin Crust, who by the way, has one of my favorite YouTube series, One Up. You should probably go check that out. But he just inspired me to try the rapping thing for myself. I already gave credit to the Infinite Source for giving me the idea for the Sub-Zero voice, but I just wanted to mention it again here. Be sure to check out his channel. He has a ton of great rap battles. The next shout out goes to ERB Perry's, who once again just inspired me to try. This is starting to sound very similar for a lot of these. I definitely think that my battle is better than their first few battles, I think. And obviously they've come in unbelievable way since then. They have a great channel now. You guys really should check them out if you're into this rap battle thing. But anyway, seeing how far they've come once again inspired me to say, you know what? I think I can be better than the first few rap battles they made. And I think I am. I think I beat out the first few of their rap battles. Next up, I want to give a shout out to Nathan Provost, who also goes under the name of Blingface. He creates original rap music and he inspired me to try rapping myself. The next shout out goes to Mando Pony. Mando Pony's not necessarily a rapper, but he really helped me realize my love for making music. And even though I'm not the best at it, I mean, I have an absolutely fantastic time just sitting down and making beats and writing lyrics. I have a really fun time doing that. And now the biggest shout out of all comes to, I was gonna say my friend, but that's not exactly true. But anyway, to Matteo down at his channel, Matt4Yo. Guys, if there's one channel you check out here, please check him out. He does not have enough subscribers, guys. I mean, I think he's like 3,017-ish now, but that's nowhere near enough. I mean, guys, he is one of the most talented people on YouTube. He inspired me in so many ways. His series, Chisel This, is my favorite YouTube series to watch. He does all sorts of lyrical analysis and he analyzes rap battles. He's an unbelievably talented lyricist, guys. And I just have to thank him for inspiring me to try to make rap battles and to write rap music in general, guys. I mean, and Matt4Yo, if you're watching this, I apologize for seeming like a really annoying fanboy sometimes, but it's kind of hard to control. That's just who I am. Hey, if you're still watching at this point in the video, first of all, I'm like stunned if you are, but thank goodness. Anyway, this is the point where if you stayed, I'm gonna reward you by telling you a couple of spoilers. If you didn't realize it, while getting shoutouts, I hinted to the fact that I've been writing a little bit of rap music. And the first thing of that's going to be coming out is my brand new Splatoon rap. It's going to be coming out within, I'm sure, a couple of weeks of this. I'm not exactly sure when because I don't have a mic and my sister's not done with the artwork for the rap yet. But, surprise! And also, I don't want to say anything yet, but I do have something that's really special for me coming out later this summer. No, it's not a mixtape, so don't freak out yet. Alright guys, once again, thank you if you stayed till this point in the video. That means a lot to me. Sorry for the low audio quality, getting my mic soon, hopefully. But that's all. See you guys next time.